Not a lot. It's just icy.
Hello and welcome to your advanced webinar. My name is Jared Krebs. I am coming at you live from San Antonio, Texas. And before we get started with our special guest and her story today, I want to remind you of 10 things to expect when building your USANA business. Number one, there will be ups and downs, just like anything. Number two, success or failure is up to you. If you succeed, it's because of you. If you fail, it's because of you, not because of the person who invited you to USANA. Number three, the goal is to become independent and be an independent leader for your team, an independent example for your team. Number four, make your plan on the weekends. Do it, review it, and make adjustments. Plan, do, review, adjust. Number five, it's going to take time. It's going to take 1 year to become competent at the skills to do this. It's going to take 3 years to create a significant part-time income. It's going to take 5 years to be a full-time earner and 7 years to become world-class. It's going to take time. It can happen faster, but it's going to take time. All right, number six, it takes consistent work and hustle. There outside Facebook lives. That's right, Facebook lives. Number eight, mental toughness is necessary. You got to be mentally tough. Number nine, the grass is not greener in other companies. I've seen people leave USANA and never make what they made with their USANA business. And number 10, this is a long-term game. USANA is 27 years strong now with over 2.5 billion paid to its associates. And it's helped me and my wife, Crystal, have a full-time income for over a decade, as well as thousands of people around the world. And hundreds of thousands have made a part-time income with USANA. So it works if you work. And very few have done it as well as RaeLynn Rushton, who is an executive goal director out of Idaho or Utah. I need to figure out which place.
Oh.
She just traveled. And I know she's in Utah right now. RaeLynn, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to share your story. I have watched you and grown with you throughout the years. I admire everything you've done, especially lately with all these enrollments and all these sponsorships. You're also one of the top sponsors, associate sponsors in USANA. So I want to be taking notes and learning from you today as well. And we want to know, like, everything. What was your life like before USANA? What were some of the challenges? Who introduced you to USANA? How did you grow? What did you overcome in your business? And what is your life like today because of your USANA business? So we have about 15 minutes for your story, 15 to 17 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end. So RaeLynn Rushton, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here and to speak with you. When Randy asked me if I would tell my story, you know, you always go, oh, I don't know, I don't really have a story, but hopefully what I say to you today can touch, move, and inspire you in some way, and just take a little bit of what my background is. So before USANA, I was in community relations for a big corporation. I did that for 5 years. I put together groups, volunteer groups. I loved my job. Fast forward before that, or backwards, I guess. For 20 years, I worked for the same corporation doing nutrition management and training for all of their states. So I was fortunate to be able to tour different nutrition facilities, supplement facilities, and kind of get a background in that. I've always been passionate about health because growing up in a small town in Idaho, and to answer your question, Jared, I actually right now, I'll tell a little bit more about that, but I'm kind of in between Idaho and Utah right now. So I don't really have a set space, which is kind of cool, and it has its challenges, but I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But growing up in a small town in Idaho, it was really great. We grew up on a farm. Or I grew up on a farm and learned a lot about just growing your own food, was really passionate about the animals that we raised and stuff like that. I had digestive issues and I had migraines from the age for fourth grade. So I was about 9 years old, I think. And we didn't know. I went to every doctor under the sun to figure out what was going on. So that kind of launched me into being passionate about health. So I got into nutrition. Along the way, I was charting my whole way as far as what I was eating and different things, because after going to every single doctor that I could imagine, nobody knew what was going on with me. So I figured I'd take it into my own hands. So got into nutrition, was in management for many, many years, decided I wanted to go to school to be a pharmacist. Was a licensed pharmacy technician for 2 years. And I saw a lot of things that just was disheartening to me. People come in and ask me for, like senior citizens would come in and say, what do I need the most, dear? Because I can't afford them all. And then I would see parents coming in with their children that were just being medicated, and it was really disheartening. It wasn't a gratifying job. And for any pharmacists out there, I'm sorry, I know you can relate to me, but it was really difficult. And so I decided that wasn't the direction I wanted to go with my life. I had 2 boys. I have 2 boys. They're in their 30s now, but at the time, being a single mom was really difficult. Someone else was raising my kids, and so I was looking for a better way. I left that company. I started my own mortgage business for 3 years, decided business ownership was the way to go. Oh boy, that particular business was not. It cost a lot of money. It was a lot of time. I had a lot of employees that I had to look after. I had overhead, stuff like that, it was challenging. And so I thought I'll go back into corporate America. So I went, and that's where I went to community relations for a corporation here. Everybody knows. It's a big orange box. And I did community relations for 5 different states. Loved it. But yet my heart was still desiring something else. A way for me to be able to actually stay at home with my kids, to raise my boys, to spend time with them, to get to know them as they grow. And so I started looking, and I'm not going to tell the story of how I found USANA, but let's just say it was fate. And I kept putting off meeting the gentleman. So it was Brian Douglas.
You can tell how you found USANA.
Well, it's I was looking for a puppy, actually. I was looking, in the background, I was looking for something that would help me to be financially free, have time for them. But this particular day, I was looking for a puppy in the newspaper when we were reading the newspapers.
That's a great story.
I've been in USANA for 15 years. Yeah, right? So I'm flipping through the paper and looking for puppies, and there was this ad, I'm skimming through the jobs too, business section, and there was this ad that was just so bizarre about being a millionaire and being, I kept reading it and thinking, yeah, right, what's this guy all about? And so I didn't do anything about it. And a couple weeks later, was looking for a puppy again, and that same ad caught my eye. So it wasn't it was sticking out for a reason, you guys. And it was just so bizarre. I thought, I'm going to call it and just see what he's up to. So I called. Brian Douglas and Brian Jensen were the gentlemen that got me involved, but I blew them off about 3 times. They kept wanting to set up meetings, and I kept thinking, yeah, I just wasn't feeling it. And finally I thought, I'm going to go. And so they had me meet in the servery at USANA. Oh my gosh, that in itself was they took me on the tour, and Brian Douglas interviewed me. And this is something I want you guys to take note on, because when he interviewed me, he got to know me first, right? He was like, well, what am I doing? What am I passionate about? Where do I see myself in 5 years from now? All of that before he even did a presentation with me. And so I really felt, gosh, this guy really cares about me. And, that day I was really impressed because my background in nutrition. When I took the tour, I thought, wow, okay, this is amazing. All the companies that I've toured in the past, you guys, never compared at all to USANA. The how things are made, the whole facility, the warehouse, everything just amazed me. And so I thought, well, if nothing else, I want to take their products. And I told them, I don't have the money. And back then it was pro packs were $12. And like, I'm sorry, I just don't have the money right now.
Broke up there,
I'll figure it out.
I just want to say pro packs were $1,200. So people know
Yes.
it needs to be more to sign up.
$1,250 plus. And so, it was something that it was like, well, I'll get back to you. And they shook my hand and I walked out the door and I kept looking back thinking they're not chasing me. This is unusual. And I was really against network marketing. I do have to tell you that too, because my parents had always been, my whole family was like in Amway. And so I grew up with that in the background. And so I was like, oh, no way. Don't want anything to do with network marketing. Well, I left there and it just kept taunting at me, like replaying in my mind the interview that he did, the facility, everything I learned. It kind of tied my background into where I was at that time. And I thought, okay, I'm going to do this. So I took a loan on my 401k, right? I figured out a way to do it, signed up to do it. I was still working for corporate America at the time. So for about a year, I was loving the products. I was getting customers. I really wasn't working the business. I was what we refer to as a glorified preferred customer, right? And then tragedy hit. My son was in a motorcycle accident. He fractured and just completely broke his talus bone. He was needing care 24/7 for 3 months at a time. Again, single mom, didn't know what to do. And so my job allowed me to work from home, which I thought was amazing. And I was the only one that did my job. So I was indispensable, right? Wrong. So I called my boss. He gave me the okay to work from home. A week later, I got a voicemail, and I'll never forget. It was on a Friday the 13th. And so I used to think those were bad days, right? Not that I'm superstitious, but it's the best day ever. So they told me that they did away with my position. I no longer was going to represent this company. And so here I am, 2 kids, 1 injured, a small severance package. And I thought, what am I going to do? So I called the gentleman, the Bryans that got me involved in USANA, and I explained the situation. And, they didn't really know me that well. They stepped up. They helped me. Basically, I went through the training all over again like I was brand new, even though I started a year before. And so I went through all the training, and they helped me, and they told me how to follow the plan, and I did exactly what they told me to do. I advanced pretty quickly I went to Silver Director, and then I think it was about a year after that, I went to Gold Director, and that was, it was teamwork. It really was teamwork. And then there's something that happens, you guys, when you go gold. You work really hard. And we all do this, whether it's a diet, and you have a goal and you work really hard to achieve that goal. And then if you don't make another goal, you just kind of sit stagnant, right? And can you relate, Jared? It's so you've got to make other goals, but I didn't. So what I did was I made that goal of Gold Director. I achieved some amazing things that I had there on my vision board. And I'll tell you what, that's key, you guys. Visualize. I don't know if you guys talk about action here, but I got to tell you, That's what helped me go gold, was that visualization, being connected to my why. That helped me to get there. But I didn't go through and update any of that. And so I was just enjoying being gold director and kind of got into this comfort zone, if you will. Went through years, like it was year after year. And because I had time freedom, my family knew this. And so I was always the go-to person to take care of family members if they were sick, or to babysit, or to run to Idaho. And my parents live in Idaho, just so you know. My family lives in Idaho. My boys and my grandkids live in Utah. And so that's kind of the story there. So I was driving a lot back and forth to Idaho, taking care of my parents. And just life took, again, year after year after year. And it wasn't that I wasn't working my business. And I can't say that it was really a hobby. I was kind of in between. I was supporting my team. I talked to people about it, but I wasn't going for the gold, right? And so life got in the way. I allowed life to get in the way. And a couple of years ago, actually about 3 years ago, I had a situation where I was able to bring my mom to live with me. And I thought that would be the best thing, because then I would be there. I could work my business from home. I wouldn't have to be traveling so much. And that absolutely didn't light me up. And it didn't light her up to be here in Utah, quite honestly. So she decided it was best for her, Idaho, and I decided that so through this 3 years, there was a lot of trials, and financially, even though over 15 years I've never missed a paycheck, if you don't work your business, your funds decrease. And so there was some financial issues that were starting to arise. And so when I moved my mom back to Idaho, I was thinking, I'm at a time in my life where I can go anywhere. I can do anything I want to do. And I had created some different courses and stuff like that, which took a lot of time and energy. And I kept coming back to the one thing that has been stability in my life, that has continued to pay me every single week, that has allowed me to take the time that I need to take care of family members, to explore my life, to figure out things. And it's USANA. And so I thought, what am I doing? What am I doing trying to figure out other ways to make money when I have the gold mine right here? And so I made a big decision that day. My mom had gotten moved. I put all of my stuff into storage, which it's still there. This was almost 2 years ago. In June, it'll be 2 years. I put all my stuff in storage, and I said to myself, there's 2 priorities here that are going to be my focus in life: my USANA business and my health. And me, taking care of me. I get to come first, because without me, there's not a USANA business or anybody else to take care of, right? And so I left on a plane. I closed the storage door, and then that morning at 7 a.m. I went to Sonavive. I do retreats at Sonavive, which they're not doing anymore, but I've been doing retreats there for many years. And so I went to Sonavive, and I was there for 2 weeks. And in that 2 weeks, I got reconnected and in touch with my why, what my goals were, and I was looking at what lights me up. So this is something really important that I want you guys to know. You can, Jared, when you were talking about the 10 things, and that it's not your leader's fault, it's not your upline's fault if you're not building a business. This business is your responsibility. You get to choose if it's going to make it or if it's not. And you get to find what lights you up. So there's guidelines for you to follow in building your business, but what lights you up, and how can you tie that in to how you build a USANA business? For me, I'm passionate about people's health. I'm passionate about educating people about their health and about quality supplements and about what to eat. And so I figured out a way to take what I was taught and tie that into building my business. And because it lights me up, I'm on fire. Like, I love what I do again. I am so excited to talk to everyone. And, if it's not for you, great. I'll see you in a year when it is great for you. But that's what I'm doing. I love traveling, so I get to travel. And in fact, Friday, I am taking a group of 8 Amish family members to Sonovy for 2.5 weeks. I'm so excited. And then I get to leave there and have a day in San Diego, and then I'll be at Sweet Retreat for a week. And, I'm fulfilled again. I'm passionate about what I do. And so I would urge you guys to find what it is. Again, reconnect with your why. Just because we make a why doesn't mean that, that's it for the rest of your life, because life is ever changing all the time. And your goals, once you reach a goal, every time I accomplish something on my vision board, I take that off and then I put something else on. But when I take it off, you guys, it goes on a celebration board, and I celebrate. I give myself, I take myself for a massage or a pedicure, and I celebrate that accomplishment, because that's important too. So find what lights you up and go for it. That's my story, and I'm still on my adventure. So we're going to be Rejuvenate with Ray Facebook page for anybody that will follow my adventure.
Wow. Wow. RaeLynn, I love everything you had to say. Thank you so much for your transparency and sharing all the stuff you had to go through as well. I mean, it looks like you're in a great place right now emotionally and also financially, because I know your business is really taken off. And not only that, but you're living your passion. You learn so many things along the way, especially about listening to, like you said, do it, make it, what lights you up. And also, the stuff that you went through with your family and your son getting in the accident, and your mom, living with you and learning that that's definitely not what was right for you. I mean, all these things really impact us all, because we all have these things we have going on in our life, and it helps us all make the best decisions as well. So thank you for your transparency, and also sharing about the complacency, because I've definitely been through that too, where you get to a certain level and then you don't work like you used to, and then it's like you plateau and all this stuff. So it's really great to just everything you said is so amazing. So we have a couple minutes for questions. If you have a question for RaeLynn, please type it in the comments. I will ask it. Phyllis Walker from Salt Lake City asks, do you do home mixers?
Well, I don't have a home right now, Phyllis. So I'm kind of in between. I do go to people's places and do them. So right now I'm primarily working with a couple of different communities. And so I do Facebook Lives, which Jared said you need to learn how to do. And you guys, none of this is perfect. I mean, I drove in from Idaho last night, got here at 1 o'clock this morning. So today's the hat day. And this business is about being real and through our ups and our downs and everything. So anyway, Phyllis, yes, I travel and I do go to people's homes to do mixers, and I customize it according to the crowd. So it's not like a one of, mixer for single one. Again, find what lights you up or the person you're working with, and then have that be a focal point.
Yes, great advice. Thank you. Yeah, I do mixers at other people's homes as well. That is where is at, actually. All right. Liz Meyer, Betty Meyer says, "You are so beautiful."
Oh, she's so sweet. I love you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. We have a question from Sue Ann Knobloch in San Antonio. She asks, do you do more on-site visits to talk to prospects or mostly on social media?
I would say right now it's more in person. I am working to do social media more so because I want to be able to have that ability to travel more and not have to be at certain places. But, you know, honestly, you guys, everywhere I am, I'm talking about USANA. If I go out to eat, I went out to eat. We went to Costa Vida and in Idaho and was talking with the person there that was helping us. And then some people that were sitting down next to us, I overheard them talking about some different things that I felt like I had something that they might be interested in. So it's everywhere. And stepping out of that comfort zone, right? In the grocery line, at the grocery store, while you're standing in line and the lady behind you is talking about allergies, her son having allergies. What do you got to lose? You're never probably going to see those people again unless they say, yes, I want to hear from you. And then, yeah, then they're grateful to you. So it's a little bit of everything right now, but I would say more personal.
Great advice. And I also like what you said about not worrying about it all being perfect, you know, just taking action. It's part of this is just imperfect, massive action.
It is, you know, that time frame where it's kind of stagnant. What I didn't tell you was, am I cutting out? What I didn't tell you was, okay, I struggled. Like USANA changed the way that it was doing. For all of you that have been in for a long time, USANA changed some things. We went from pro packs and a defined way of doing business to kind of now it's defined, but there's not definite packs or stuff like that. And so I struggled, going from corporate America, learning the USANA compensation and how I get paid. And then after I went gold, I kind of struggled when the shift happened in USANA, trying to find my footing. And so that's what I'm trying, I think, and I know from talking with a lot of people that have been in USANA for a long time, that seems to be a theme. And I can't urge enough for you to quit looking outside of yourself and look inward at what makes you happy, what brings you joy, how can you share this business. Phyllis, if it's mixers, if you love that community and having people over, wow, go for it, because that's what lights you up, and people are going to see that and feel that, and that's where people are drawn to you. So and there's no mistakes, right? There's no right or wrong. I think for me, I was always looking at, I got to do this right. I can't do a Facebook Live unless I can do it perfect. You know, what is perfect? Just step out of your comfort zone and do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. And pretty soon you are so comfortable with that it's like, hey, you know.
Awesome. Well, RaeLynn, I can't believe this this half hour went by like a snap of the fingers. It was so great. And I just want to ask you, what's your final piece of advice to anybody who will watch this recording or who's live right now?
I would say stay strong and true to yourself. Don't ever, ever give up. Jared mentioned earlier, you know, people have left to go to other companies to find the next best thing or something that works. It's not USANA that doesn't work, you guys. It's us, and we've got to find a way that works for us, because this company, I mean, we're family, and we're sharing Dr. Wentz's vision of a healthier world. if you stay true to that, the money's a bonus. So don't ever give up. 15 years and I'm back on track. So it's always there for you. Thank you, you guys.
Great advice. Well, thank you again, RaeLynn. This has been a very enlightening conversation. And we are going to end this call by everybody unmuting and say thank you, RaeLynn, and have an awesome day.
Thank you, RaeLynn.
Thank you, RaeLynn. Have an awesome day.
Thank you, RaeLynn.
Love you.
Thank you, RaeLynn.
Thank you.
RaeLynn, an awesome day. I'm going to call you right now.